Well, I'm DJ and I've been with Evan Schuster for probably 12 years now. I've started as a receptionist. So I think I've held every single role in the operations side that you can think of. I've done all of it since I think I was 20 years old, all the way up until now. I call myself the wizard behind the curtain of the Schuster team because you will hardly ever see me out. So basically what we're gonna go over today is boost your bottom line. And I really just straight took it out of this book. So I can tell you where I found it. This book is something that all of you should have, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. It's like my Bible. You see, I go through, I save pages. It's a very hard book to just go through and read from page 1 to the end. It's better just to pick what you're trying to work on and go from there. So we're going to start with the 4 fundamental models of real estate success. And this is what Gary says, the 4 main models that you should have is the economic model, which we're going to go over today, lead generation model, budget model, and the organization model. So we're only going to go over the economic model and the budget model because those other 2 could probably be a whole nother hour of learning. So do you have a clear picture of your economic model? Do you know where your money comes from? That's your gross revenue. Do you know where your money is going, your expenses, and how much is left for you? And that is your net income. Does everybody know where all of that goes to right now in their business? Pretty much?
Yeah.
Well, everyone about to get started. So going on to the economic model, there's 3 areas to focus on here too, and we're going to only go over the focus on your numbers you must hit. And we have focus on your appointments and focus on conversion rate. And I just want to say really quick, I know a lot of agents don't know their conversion rates. If there's a way that you can start tracking it, it's going to be really important in helping you create your budgets and setting yourself up for your goals for the years. I took this formula straight out of the MREA. And it tells you how you're going to, this is basically, it sets your goals for your activities. So if you can formulate all of this, you'll know how many listings you need to have, how many listing appointments you need to have, how many you need to close. This to me is very foreign. And so what I did is I just went ahead and I created let me start all over. So basically, we begin with the end in mind, and we know the numbers we must hit and never lose sight of them. So what I'm going to show you guys how to do is do it backwards. And then you can fill in those numbers. Are you guys familiar with doing it that way too? Okay. So maybe this won't be new to any of you. So here's a formula that I put together. I did this myself because my brain worked a lot better than trying to formulate it the way that he had it. So does anyone want to give an income that they want to make for the year? Say, you could just do it easy and do a million. Just go from there. Any other income?
Hi, guys. Hi, you increase your goal. You don't need your goal. 1 million. Perfect, Jay. We're right. Take a lot more than 1 million. We don't leave you guys.
Nothing without you.
Oh, wow. Not the other way around.
Well, maybe I'm not going to show you because my spreadsheet is not wanting to work.
Oh, it's on view only if you click right under, right there, yeah. Change it. Any? Oh, no, because it's. Yeah,
One second. Why I'm finding this spreadsheet, do you guys have any things that you want to go over that has come to your mind that you would like to know more about?
I really liked your section when you did in the ALC about, so you probably will get to it, but according to the MRA, what amount should be proportioned to what activities and,
Yes.
yeah.
We are gonna get there.
For sure, a good balance.
Yeah.
That was actually the only ALC meeting I've been to. It was really good. And that's the one I chose to go to, so.
I think all of you probably have this then, the ones that were at the ALC meetings. Oh,
I did not get a copy.
you didn't get a copy of the answer and you grab one and then.
Oh, dang.
You're not supposed to be on Friday. Go home. Recording in progress. Oh, that's great. Thanks.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, Tim.
Okay, so in working backwards, so you're gonna set big goals, and we're gonna go for 1 million here.
Sorry,
That's
that's my grandmother. Been a realtor for 40 years and still leaves voice messages.
cute though. So basically, your operating expenses should be about 30%. And your cost of sale should be 30%. So we're gonna add these in here.
Zero.
I am missing a zero. I have too many zeros. There we go. So if you take what your net income, what you want to make, and then you calculate your 30% of your operation expenses and your cost of sales, then you're going to add those all three together and you want your total GCIs to be 1.6 million. That's how you come up with your budget. Anyone have any questions on that? Sure. Okay, so then from here, what you're gonna do is, you're gonna put in your percentage of what you want from your listing side. So you guys wanna go with 60%, 50%, what do you think is fair? And then crazy markets that we're going through.
Well, since we're all going to be listing heavy here, I mean, I think we can use 60 plus, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, goodness, of course it's not going to work. So basically, you're gonna take the 60%. Oh, wait, I forgot a step. So average commission amount. Are you guys okay with 12,000? Sure. And so you'll need 133 units to close to reach $1 million in production. Then we're gonna take this here and you're gonna take the 60% and you're gonna need 80 homes, 80 listings to get there. And then, and of course, it's not going to work. So then we're gonna take the 80 homes. You're going to, oh, your conversion rate, this is where I'm wrong. So would you guys say your conversion rate's about 85% or lower, higher? On an average,
Mine's 90 for listings.
90 for listings? Okay. We're gonna put 90% here. And then here, it's gonna tell you that you need to go, you need to have 89 listings signed. And then from your meetings to the listings signed, how many, your conversion rate there? What do you think your conversion rate would be? Should you keep it at 90% or would it go down a little bit to 85? Or?
Oh, well, what was the first number? I thought that was.
The first number is actually meeting with them and getting a listing signed with them.
Okay, and the second number is
Listing to
closing.
closing, yes. Yes.
No, when it's probably 95 and 95, right? I mean, I don't know, how about you?
You know, like that.
Yeah, I would say 95 is good. Yeah.
They pretty much keep
I mean,
them all
pretty
the way
much
down.
all of that.
It's usually a scenario where they don't have funds or the family habits or something like that. It's usually.
And so you need to go on 94 seller appointments for the year. And that's how you break down your activities.
Right, I'm working on it. More team members.
And so we could do the same thing. So we're gonna go 40% here on the buyer side to make it an even 100%. Do you feel like your buyers are at a lower conversion, higher,
Yeah, I'd probably 80% on that.
80%?
It depends if you're more referral based or if you have leads and things like that, you know, you're cold calling if they're known or not known, so 80 is probably a fair average.
Okay. And then this is the hard part, because buyers sometimes are very hard to get to closing.
Yeah, what do you guys think, like 65%?
No?
70%?
What'd you say?
I said, I feel like I have more control of buyers to get to the.
Really? Yeah. Oh,
Well, and that's also part of like, you need to find a house and get them under contract, right, is after that amount, so. The 80% first one is just they've agreed to work with you versus like, you know, zero leads or other stuff. So I mean, that one could be higher, but I mean, realistically, with calls and all the things and people that actually end up buying,
Mhm.
you know. Yeah,
Like 75.
75 for the second one.
75?
let's just be optimistic. I was gonna say, that's real optimistic, but what were you thinking? I think the 60, you said 65, yeah, I feel like that was.
You see my whiteboard in there.
Yeah,
NAR says 75.
Does it?
does it?
In this book, it says in the 80s, but this was written in
That was
like
in the-
2000.
That was more of a buyer's market than a
Yeah.
time frame when they wrote it, so that makes more sense.
Yeah,
There's a conversion rate
Gonna change.
average in here, but I don't know if I would agree with them.
And then now with the NAR and stuff and buyers potentially to be a little bit trickier, I think that number would be, yeah. Probably fair.
So this is how you calculate your activities, but most important for what we're going for today is we're gonna focus on these numbers up here on top. Oh, you wanna,
Yeah.
which one do you want a picture of?
The,
This one?
Yeah.
Okay, so now this is the part where you all came for. The three key areas of the budget model. So we have the lead with revenue, play red light, green light, and stick to the budget. We're only gonna go over stick to the budget today. So when you see every dollar spent as an investment in your future, you'll approach budgeting with more excitement at a high level of interest. I get giggly when I see spreadsheets. I know most agents do not. Like when I was doing spreadsheets, I just get so happy. So what this is supposed to do is, if you do it this way, it helps you guys get excited about spreadsheets as well. So it just keeps your budget in front of you. It sees where it's going, sees where you're spending. It's also will tell you what it's bringing in business for you. And you always want to make sure that whatever you're investing, you're getting 10 times more, that you're just not getting dollar for dollar. And that's what will make it exciting for you guys. When you think of it that way, you're going to want to look at your P&L probably monthly for sure. So we're going to go to this page here. I think everybody has one now. So we're going to start, we're going to stay in the million, but the percentage wise changes a little bit depending on how much you want to make per year. So if you're gonna stay as a $1 million producer, you want your cost of sales to be around 25%. And your expenses to be around 36%. And then your gross profit is gonna be 75%. And then your net income is what you get to take home for yourself. And I know a lot of P and Ls are a little bit different where they put the rainmaker's salary in your expenses and stuff, but the MREA, you do not, because you're basically taking home whatever's money is left for the net income, that's yours. So you get to choose to give it to yourself or put it right back into the business. Which you should probably put it back into the business. Okay, so then we're gonna move on to salaries and benefits. So what I typically put in salaries and benefits categories is anything that is paid to an employee of the team, or if you're paying yourself as an employee. If you're paying yourself as a 1099, you do not put it here. So this is just employees. If you give them any types of benefits, 401k, health insurance, anything like that, it goes under that.
If you're 1099 and you're paying your health insurance, do you put anything in there for health insurance?
It would be a separate category. And so the next one is, so that was, you want to keep that about 19% for the salaries. And then professional services. That's gonna be attorneys, CPAs. Anything else? I can't think of anything else. Can you think of anything else that would be professional services? That you would need?
No, because GC is gonna go in cost of sales, right?
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. And so then you're gonna go into the lead generation part. And this is where you can put a whole bunch of different stuff in here. So for like listing management, what we do is we put like, our signs, lock boxes, we put them in there because they're generating leads that way. We put any type of expenses that we have for the listings, if you're creating brochures, any like marketing just for that specific listing, that would go into there.
So like, circle prospecting flyers or things like that.
Mhm. Yes.
Okay.
What else we put in there? I think that's basically it, just anything that's going to help you lead generate for a listing. So when you're thinking about what you're gonna put in here, think, is this generating leads for a listing? That's where that will go. And then general prospecting and marketing. So that's gonna be anything outside of that. You're gonna have, if you're gonna be farming with postcards, newsletters, client appreciation parties would go into there. If you give concert tickets out, those can go there.
Yeah, your tickets. So listing management, all your photos and stuff per listing. So anything listing specific is gonna go in listing management.
Yes. And so for listing management, you want to keep that about 2%, 2.3, and then for your prospecting, about 5%. And then with the total of that, because I lump those all into one category and then I do subcategories, and I always make sure that's around 7%. Okay, the next one is occupancy, which is going to be 2%. And really the only thing that we have here at Keller Williams is just our office space that we use, not your whole entire KW bill, your office space. So going back to cost of sales, your royalty and your company dollars is going to go into there. It's not going to go into the other expenses because that's what it costs you to run your business. And then KW, what is it, the $50 that you pay per check? Those will also go in there too.
We'll go in occupancy.
in your cost of sales up
Oh,
at the
yeah.
top. Sorry. I didn't do this all the way up.
Part of that.
Okay, so that one's 2%, and then education and coaching. What's gonna be in here is any of your license renewal, any education that you take, if you go to any, the Schuster team does Brian Buffini masterminds, anything of that sort, the traveling, the air flights, the hotels, food, anything for those type of education and coaching goes into there. So if you have MAPS coaching, Buffini coaching, any type of coaching, that's the category that it would go into. And we're gonna keep that one at about 2.3% too. And then we have supplies and office expenses. I break down the KW invoice and I put like the cost of printing. If you have postage stamps in there, I think there's another small fee. I put it into supplies and office expenses. You kind of want to make sure that you have everything accountable for. So you want to break down that invoice to where something, they go somewhere, that invoice. And then communication and technology, that's going to be your cell phone. If you have a landline for the team or anything to do with communication. Technology too, I kind of played around a little bit with technology and like software. So any software, if you use Follow Up Boss, Sisu, Adobe, anything like that, you throw into there, into technology. And then you got your automobile, which is 1%. And then equipment and furnishing. So if you redo your office, buy a new computer, laptops, that all falls into there. And then this is where if you pay for your own insurance, your own health insurance and your 1099, it goes under insurance, and then also your E&O will go under insurance as well. And so as you're looking at your budgets monthly, you want to see where you're spending your money. And if you see that you're not spending it in one area, let's say, I know personally with Evan and I noticed that we weren't spending a lot of money on our listing management. And so I told them we need to shift money into there. So if you follow the budget, follow the percentages, and you invest in the correct places, you should start bringing in more money to your business. That's basically the basics of it. So that's why it's very good to see where it's at.
Did you see a shift when you started doing them?
Mhm. Yes, when I first started working with Evan, it took 4 years and we didn't do anything like this. And then one day I just started digging in there and it was pretty neat to see. For me, Evan was doing it in his head, but didn't have it on his spreadsheet. But he was putting everything in there, but now I can say, no, your mind isn't where it thinks it is. Let's look at numbers because they don't lie. And so then we can see, okay, this is probably why we're not getting leads from here because we're not putting enough money into it. It's very helpful. But can you see excitement for a spreadsheet now?
It's growing.
Baby fire.
And what I like to do, because I'm a spreadsheet person, is I do a spreadsheet of what our goal is, like we go through at the beginning of the year and we set our goal where we want to hit. And then I actually do actual to kind of see. And if you watch that, you can see what the market is doing even through your P&L. Which is really cool because you can see, okay, we had a terrible, let's say, March. You know what you need to do for April, May, because you didn't do very well. And you can kind of see if it's heavy on the listing side or the buyer side, you can see where the market's turning just by watching your P and L. So analyze your profit and loss monthly and you'll get better at controlling your expenses. That's really all that I have for today, so open to any questions?
So what, on your P and L, you created a spreadsheet, but are you also using the ones generated by QuickBooks or,
Yes.
so do you use both together?
I do. One main reason I use a spreadsheet is it's easier for Evan to read it on a spreadsheet than the P and L.
The P&L you use, is that through QuickBooks then?
I do. I run all reports through QuickBooks.
Because you put in all invoices and everything, it tracks all of it.
It tracks everything. And what I even did is from this, I took it and created all my categories in QuickBooks to match this. So that way, when I run reports, it's gonna match this identically. And I do subcategories too, because I get really detailed and I'm like, okay, well, where did we spend on like food? Like for the team in like Q1, how much did we spend on a client appreciation? And I just put them in subcategories. So I do these main ones and then I just put them underneath there. You can get as detailed as you want or not.
Do you do anything for like saving the taxes? Because all this is obviously taxes, right? Your PCI and like, this, so as you see money coming in, do have accounts for like, hey, this is what should be set aside for your 30% of whatever it is taxes. And then everything else falls after that. Is that how you tend to do it or somebody else?
Probably should do it that way, but we don't. We just run it straight how this is. And then at the end of the year, Evan's accountant, she takes care of it from there.
Okay.
Does he leave it in that business account and she takes it?
So then basically that net income amount is gonna go split up into your pockets of
Right.
taxes, vacation, business.
Sure. The buckets.
Yeah.
The buckets outside of
Yeah.
this.
And that's is another part of the budget model, right? Not sticking to your budget, but the second step, I think you had it up there.
This economic lead budget and then what was the fourth one?
Was it this one or the one before that?
Yeah, no, I'm thinking of something else, because I think in,
This one? No.
I know in the business planning clinic, they go through like, in the budget model, they have all these buckets where as you have money in, you split it out and then you operate that way.
Mhm.
Is this like a different approach?
I'm guessing so. I haven't been to one of those, but I'm thinking like this way. I think where you're going is where they say pay yourself first. Is that where you're going? You take it from that net income.
Yeah.
So after that, then you pay yourself from there. And so that's probably where you would go and take your 30% or whatever you want to say for taxes from there.
Got it. Great.
Because those are going to be two separate, because you're going to have taxes for the business and taxes for your personal.
Right.
There's a great book called Profit First that goes through the buckets of stuff like that.
Very well.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really good. It's on Audible. All right, if we don't like spreadsheets. And I don't want to create one. And I currently don't use QuickBooks. Do you have any? Where do I start? It's terrible, like, that's my best question.
I can share that spreadsheet that I had earlier. I can do that. Then another reason that I'm up here too is that I'm opening up to share my knowledge to all of you guys with Level Up Ops. Okay, so I will be providing services to you guys if you need help in any way. I can help you with your setting up QuickBook. I can do spreadsheets for you, anything like that.
Fantastic.
Okay, I'm gonna pass this around and then you can give me your emails. And I can send that spreadsheet to you.
Thank you.
What is your, do you have a pricing plan for your services that you're offering?
I do, I like to meet with everybody first, so we can kind of see what it is that you need. It's gonna vary depending on each agent and what they really need.
Can I interject here? So DJ and I met a number of months ago. And she has so much knowledge and history from the ops side of this, right? And so we started talking about what do we see that people need all of the time, right, in their businesses? None of us are good at spreadsheets and books and all of that, right? So, except you, you're weird, right? You're an anomaly. But I mean, that's the reality, right? We're people.
Yeah.
And so we're out with people and we're negotiating, we're showing houses and we're going to listing appointments. Like, when do you find time to do that? And so DJ and I had a series of meetings, like, this is really what people need in their business. People who don't, like, for me, Bianca does this, right? And she helps with all of this and then the CPA, but if you're not at that point, that's where DJ comes in really handy. There's a million TCs out there to help us from contract to close that can do that, right? There's a huge hole in the business for the ops people to help you get all of this in order. And she's done this at a really high level for Schuster over the years, learned all of it. So how can she help so many people in here, right? And so what she does is she meets with you, does kind of an audit of your business, helps you figure out where you need the most help, and she can step in and be of assistance there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it's pretty cool because there's not anybody in town that I'm aware of at all that's understands
Our
realtors,
business.
how we work, our business, you know, because even high level CPAs, they're just in the CPA world, right? DJ gets it from the ops side of this business, so I think it's a huge asset.
And these are some of the services, and I'm really just gonna tailor to whatever agent's needs are, so. If you would like to, you can find me in my little curtain back there where Evan's office is, but. I'm gonna help with coaching operations teams, because a lot of times agents don't have the time to train their operations team, so I'm gonna help with that. Do business system audits. And then any type of bookkeeping that you need. I will do transaction coordinating, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't want to, and I will hire out. I do have a TC that will be working with me, so I'm gonna be very honest on that one. I will do recruiting and trading according to the career vision plan. So I will start from the very beginning of getting an ad out for you in Indeed, and I will do all of the interviewing, and I will pick 2 top candidates for you to choose from. And I'll do that whole process, which can probably take about 20 hours to do if you do it correctly. And then I will also do a 30, 60, 90-day training with them as well. And then again, listing management. But again, that one I will source out. And I didn't take up a lot of the time. That's one thing about me, I'll be clicking out.
DJ, what's your contact info? Do we have that? Right?
I did. My cell phone is 505-463-9206. And I do share that with the Schuster team, so just so you know, and then admin@levelupops.com, so you can reach me by email.
Awesome, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here. It wasn't as scary as I thought it was gonna be.
When we look at you for guidance, this part is scary. I'm like, I don't want, I just pay the money and then I'm like, where'd all my money go? Maybe I should track it. Maybe I could do more with my money if I knew where it went.
Yeah,
Give a plug out of the next class you're doing.
The next class I'm doing, Oh, the next class I am gonna do in July, towards the end of July is, helping everyone understand their KPA. And to know what each category means and how to help you look for talent through the KPA. And maybe to understand yourself a little bit better too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.